Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play out as karmic themes. This will allow you to see why your person is doing what they're doing, how you're contributing to the undesirable life experiences that are playing out, and what you could possibly do to shape shift your situation. Sorry, I've been out for the past week, but I have had bronchitis to the point it was almost pneumonia. Still wheezing, but at least I'm not out of breath where I can talk. I was really, really, really sick. I just want you guys to know that I hate taking time off. Um, so I'm glad to be back. So thank you for being patient. And we're going to jump right on in today, okay? All right. Now, anything of any importance, by the way, or relevance in this channel, you can find in the description box. And if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out, and it's the underlining energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. All right, let's see what that word is. The word is knowledge, wisdom. We've been getting that a lot. Let's pull another one just to feed up on it a little bit, okay? Anger. Well, I feel like you've been in separation from someone for a long time and they know that you're angry. That this is a soul's connection because, again, this card, we see the sacred geometry, we see the dove, which both symbols represent spiritual energies. So this is a spiritual connection. But I feel also like in this term, it means knowing, the clairsentience, which is, I don't know how I know that, but I know. Well, actually, that's claircognizance. So, but I do feel like you and your person do have an ESP connection. It's through the heart and mind. So there is clairsentience, but when you use clairsentience a long time, it turns into claircognizance as well. So there is this very strong spiritual connection. And I feel like this person knows that you're like over them, but they're actually angry because you are over them. They're actually angry because of how they decided to play their hand. So that's the underlining energy. So you can write either one of these words in your comment bar. Now let's see actually what happened to make you be angry. Aside from this person being in separation, I feel like they tried to play a waiting game with you and it backfired. Okay. Haunted. Yeah, they're haunted, and they're haunted because of the way that they treated you. They don't really know whether or not you would talk to them. They don't know anything. See, this person judges a lot from their past relationships. They're also judging the fact of how they treated you. So they're haunted. And they're also haunted because they never thought that they were going to have such strong feelings for you, I feel like. Again, now they're acting like a victim, not taking responsibility. And that's really what happened for a long time. I feel like they didn't really need to play this waiting game. It's just at the time, and I don't know why I'm feeling this. I feel like your person was connected to somebody else so that they were actually comfortable and they never gave you the time. They never gave you the time. And so now I feel like they're not in a good place. Again, yeah, they wanted to get energy from a lot of other people. This person ran around with a lot of other people. So even though you and this person had a really strong soul connection, they didn't want to give in to you. They didn't want to give you the time. They gave a lot of other people the time. That's why they're haunted. And now they feel like they're the victim because they thought that you would come and save them. And what they see is you're not coming back. Let's see how you took this situation. Yeah, you were ignored. They ran around with a lot of other people. Like I said, they wanted to give their time. You felt like you weren't heard or valued. that your feelings didn't mean anything. Because I feel like you did tell this person what you needed for them to do. And you didn't really think that it was going to be a big deal because you had a soul connection. The mistake that you made was you thought that this person was you, meaning that they were going to think the way that you think. That's not what happened. Yeah, you were like, you got had enough of the abuse because they're running around with other people. They breadcrumb you. They're in, they're out, they're back, they're forth, and they're just were trying to keep you stuck on a hook. And you're like, this is abuse, and I don't have the time for it. Emotional abuse. And so I feel like you're like, in order for you to really be able to have a conversation with this person, it always leads to an argument. And you're like tired. You're like, I don't want to have an argument with you in order for you to soothe me and let me know where I stand in your life. This person's not emotionally intelligent. So it's like they focus more on the physical than the emotional connection. And that's why they wanted to run around with a lot of other people. They knew that you weren't going to do that. Yeah, you were like, it's everything is too difficult. Like you make things so hard, and they don't really need to be this hard. But it was just their way of keeping you hooked. I feel like this person comes in like the victim a lot of times, pretends that they've been in a lot of bad relationships, acts like they have feelings for you, but they don't really know whether they can handle a relationship again because they were hurt so bad. So what you finally realized is you're just making it difficult. You're just making it difficult to try and keep me stuck. And that's exactly what they were trying to do. And you finally had the awareness. I think you were caught up in the connection that you and this person had. This person undervalued the connection. That kind of just jumped out. So we're going to take it. Yeah, neglect. Like not paying attention to what was important. This person wasn't paying attention to the divine connection. Instead, what they wanted to do is they wanted to run around and feed their ego. That's what they wanted. They wanted to be with a lot of different people. They wanted to be perceived as really wanted and desired, and they actually wanted you to chase them. So, because you didn't chase them, they neglected you, which is so stupid. Yeah, now they're crushed. And I feel like at the time, you were a little crushed. You were shocked. I feel like you were really shocked that this person didn't come back and do the right thing. But now they're crushed. Now they're like can't believe that they have this connection. They can't believe that you walked away and you're not like thinking about it, that you don't care. No, you don't care because you had enough of the abuse. I feel like you put up with it for a long time. So let's see where they are right now. Well, these cards don't even belong in there, so we're not going to take them. You don't know how hard it was to let you go. I feel like, yeah, we're going to see why they have felt like they needed to let you go. I want you. So I feel like at the time, this person, like I said, was connected to somebody else and they had to make a choice. And they didn't spend enough time to really get to know you. And now I feel like they're still with that person. It's just they're judging that person who they thought that that person was. I feel like they thought that that person was you. I feel like that karmic person convinced them that they were you, meaning you're a go-getter. You're someone that works, can take care of yourself. You're someone that has friends. You have a life. This person doesn't have a life. Their life is your person. So what I feel is it's like now they're sitting in a different space, but they made a judgment call and they had to make that judgment call based on no information because they never gave you the time, right? How do you know? And I feel like this karmic is someone that's been in and out of this person's life. And so they're sitting in a space of, really desiring you because you cut your energy off completely and now they're viewing you in a different place, almost like the wheel has turned. Now you're on top, they're on bottom. They're connected to a karmic that they don't really want to be connected to. I feel like they were tricked. It's time for me to heal now. So they know before they even would be able to come back to you that they need to figure out why they did what they did. They need to figure out why they're still attached to this karmic. And they need to let go of the karmic in order to come towards you. I feel like they're codependent, and this is why they really need to heal. I'm going to pull one more from this deck. I wish I could take back my words. I feel like, again, they downplayed this connection, and that's really what did it. It's that when they had the opportunity to be there for you, they chose not to. I feel like you said something to them, but they ignored you. And then what happened is that now they're reflecting back, on everything that they did, and they're a little bit mortified. They look like a jerk. And they're attached to somebody that they don't really want to be attached to. They don't like their life. You were the best thing in my life. I feel like, again, in comparison to where they are now, looking back on their life, they think that you're the best thing in their life because you were the most honest. You didn't play games. Like this karmic is someone that lies, is someone that manipulates, that will win at all costs just to keep their place in this person's life. But your person doesn't really want to be connected to them. You and I were too young. That's for some of you guys, but I feel like they didn't never gave you enough time. That's really what it is. Have given this karmic a lot of time, not because they themselves went out of the way for the karmic. I feel like this karmic has been in this person's life, and they're the ones that do all the work. They're the person that has held this connection together. I knew that I crossed the line with you. Yeah, because they lied. They said that they were fully single and they weren't fully single. Let's see if this is a deeper type of connection. Like, is there any other knowledge or anything that, because sometimes it's a spiritual connection and just a spiritual connection, meaning the person came into your life to teach you something or to create awareness. You created awareness for this person somehow. So let's take a peek and see what that is. I'm afraid you're going to meet somebody else before I'm ready to be with you. So again, they're planning on breaking free. They don't really know how, but I feel like they are planning on leaving that karmic for good and changing their life because they're not happy in their life. They feel like a victim, even though they're the person that created this whole situation. And that's why they're a little bit afraid to come towards you because they know that they would be angry. I've been giving my power away to people in my life. I'm learning to set boundaries. That's what I'm telling you. There's people in this person's life, and I feel like it's that karmic. It's a karmic that was not, they weren't dating anymore, they weren't together anymore, but just a person that they almost considered like a best friend, someone that was downgraded. And I feel like it was mainly because your person didn't know what to do with this person. It's like the karmic put in so much time, so much energy. They were the glue to this connection. So what it was is that your person compromised themselves. They weren't honest with that karmic. And so the karmic was able to manipulate, make them feel bad. I even feel like tell some lies about you, even if they don't know about you. And what they're realizing is that they got played. They got played. we project our patterns onto each other, and this makes it difficult to see what is real and what is fear-based thinking. I feel like this person triggers the shit out of you, but I also feel like they trigger you because they were stuck in karmic patterns connected to people and not really giving their energy to anybody. To be honest with you, I mean, they downgraded that karmic so that they could run around. It's just the karmic was never afraid of them running around. They were more nervous of you because your person was considering giving up that life and sharing that with the karmic because karmic acted like a best friend. So I feel like your person's mortified because they took out on you what they really should have did to the karmic. They set unnecessary boundaries with you that they should have actually set with the karmic. They projected all of their anger, because I don't really feel like want to be connected to this person. I just feel like they're a nice person down deep inside and they don't know what to do with this person. And I feel like you probably didn't even ask for that much. It's just whatever you said, it triggered this person because they feel controlled by the karmic. But it's like they don't have the guts to say anything to the karmic because they're afraid that they're going to hurt the karmic's feelings. And I think that that's really what made you feel like, well, you're abusing me. You're ignoring me. You care so much about me, but you're giving all your time and energy to your best friend that you were with or to your friend. Not even a best friend, like a friend, someone that your person would have did anything for, because again, they had been in their life for a long time. They just didn't want to be with them romantically anymore. Our love is external. It exists in every dimension and cannot be lost. So what this person realizes is that they actually tried to go back with karmic. And what they realize is they can't. What they realize is that no matter how much time goes by, no matter how much space that goes by, no matter distance that goes by, it doesn't matter. They still are nonstop thinking about you, which is what it was making the karmic nutty, which is why the karmic decided to do what they did, because you're a threat. Don't judge this, just surrender. I know it's triggering, but from a higher perspective, it's clearing energy and bringing us closer together. It's like they know that you don't really want to be with them anymore, even though that this was a really strong sacred bond. It's like you were like you chose somebody else. The loyalty went to somebody else. I don't care that that person's been in your life. I don't care what your situation was, because if the shoe was on the other foot, they wouldn't have liked it if you did it to them. And they know damn well that that to be true is that that's why they're looking back on this situation and they're mortified because they're not wasn't realizing what was happening. And it's because that karmic in them do have an emotional connection because that person was in their life, just didn't love them and wasn't attracted to them anymore, did not want to be with them in that way anymore, but decided to keep them in their life as a way of saying, well, what would be the right thing to do? And I feel like the karmic convinced them of that. And so now it's like this person's like, we really are soulmate. I know that you still care about me. I know that you're angry. I have that clear cognizance with you. That's how this reading started. I know that you and I are connected. And I know you know that too. And I think that even though you're mad, you should just surrender. It's like to it, because I will surrender to it and then it'll just work out. But you're like, I'm not going to surrender to shit. It's like you just went to somebody else and you ignored me. You put somebody before me. And that's why this person, I long for your kisses and your touch. I know the universe works in mysterious ways, but sometimes I judge the situation instead of surrender to it. And that's because they're like, why is it so difficult? Why is this so difficult? Why did you come into my life? Why did you stir up my life? I was happy. I was happy being connected to a karmic that I was not really given anything to. We were friends while I ran around with a lot of other people. And now I have feelings for you and I can't get over you. And I don't even know how to get back to you. So this is where they are right now. One more. I've watched you change and grow so much. I'm trying to release my attachments and also my attachment to identity so I can change too. So I'm kind of feeling like the karmic and this person have either a business venture together or they have something together which made this person have more money, more stability, more life look more appealing to them. And they also know that when they leave, that this karmic is not just going to let them leave easy, that it's going to create problems. Whatever they came into the relationship with, they're not leaving with. They're going to leave maybe with their shirt on their back. So this person has been watching you on social media, watching what you're doing, where you are, if you're hanging out with anyone, trying to pick up any clues whatsoever. I feel like they sat on this for a really long time, and now what they see is you're not coming back. And they know damn well. They thought that they were going to use time and distance as a way to stonewall you, to make you come back to them. But you're like, I'm not going to come back to you. They thought that they were going to use this connection as a way to manipulate you. And that's not what happened at all. So this is what's going on. They're trying to release them now because what they're saying is, well, I could be attached to this karmic and still have all the possessions and money or whatever it is that I've created with this person and be miserable and be miserable because now when I try to go back and do what I've done, which is have that karmic on the side and run around with all the other people, I'm looking for you in every single person and nothing is satisfying me. And I'm realizing that I really do have such strong feelings for you, which, like I said, why is why that karmic is going nutty. So let's see, are they ever going to get the courage to do anything about it? It's like what it says is it's like they're trying, but let's see. We'll pull three to see. I feel like it might not even matter, you know? Yeah, like what's gonna happen is that this person is gonna try to leave, but what's gonna happen is that they're gonna get a block. That karmic is gonna block them, and they're gonna make a mockery out of them. Like I said, whatever they created together, whatever they did together, well, they're gonna take away. They're gonna make sure that they're punished. And this is what your person knows. They're also afraid that you may punish them, that you may not dishonor them. I feel like that's what the karmic did, but that you're going to like say something that kind of humiliates them, that again, kind of laugh at them for going back and feeling bad for this person. And I feel like they don't really know where to go right now. There's nowhere to run, right? They don't know where to go because they don't want to go to that karmic. They don't want to stay there, but they don't really know whether or not what you're going to do, what you're going to say. And there's this also the other element of if I'm going to run to you, or I'm going to run and I'm going to have the shirt on my back. And if you say no, then what's going to happen to me? So this person is trying to figure things out, but that karmic is getting crazier and crazier. And like I said, because there's just too much curiosity about you, but it's pushing this person to awaken. Okay. They're going through a spiritual awakening because there's this inner knowing that the person that they're with is dark and that you're light. Okay. And that they've been living under the manipulation of this karmic. So it's almost like they're waking up from a dream. Okay. Like it's like that's the problem. It's like They thought that they were just doing a nice thing. They thought that they just wanted to let that karmic down nicely. That what they see actually is that karmic is not anybody who that they thought that they were. And this person, this karmic has been in your person's life for a long time on and off. But now they're seeing it, and it's because you and this person really do have a spiritual connection. They can't go back to the way that things were. They can't, but they know they're fucked because they took so much time. They thought that they were going to play this and manipulate it so that they could almost have their cake and eat it too. And now what they say is, you're like, I don't want this abuse. I'm not tolerating it. So they're stuck in this place of feeling really uncomfortable. Yeah, and it's actually making them feel really sick. And the underlying condition is the fact that that karmic is stressing them out. Yeah, they want to surrender. They want to give in. They want to hand you that olive branch. It's again, they want to give you a peace offering. It's like there's a part of this person where this karmic wants them to surrender to them. And it's like, and that's not happening. It's actually it's pushing your person into having a spiritual awakening because what they're seeing is my whole life is a sham. I'm not happy. I hide behind material gain. I don't have an identity. I'm not fulfilled. I'm connected to someone that's keeping me stuck, that does not have my best interest at hand. Yeah, you make me feel like home. I have love for you. It's like that's really what it is. It's like because of your kindness. It's like that you're their heart's desire. And like it said, I feel like the more that they hold back from that karmic, the more that this karmic is actually like digging a hole. It's like the karmic only meant to burn down the bathroom, like Left Eye Lopez, remember from TLC, only meant to burn down the bathroom, but they're burning down the entire house because your person is awakening to the fact that who the fuck am I with? Who is this person? Who am I friends with? I thought you were this person. I thought that you always had my best interest at hand. I thought that you cared about me. You don't care about me at all. You're not my home. You're not my happiness. This person's my home and happiness. And I don't know how I know this. This is your person. It's like I just know it. It's like I just know it. I've tried not to go back. I've tried to forget about you. This is what they're saying in their head to the karmic, almost like I've tried to forget about you, meaning you, not the karmic, and they can't. And that's what's making them crazy, the karmic. Yeah, it's like there's too much of an emotional force. There's too much of an emotional force that's pulling them back to you, which is making them open up. It's triggering their intuition. And again, all the things that were hidden that karmic has been doing. So that's what your person is actually going through right now. This one is from a different deck, but it's on the floor and it keeps yelling at me. I'm going through a dark night of the soul. Nothing in my life makes sense. I knew it. I was like, I don't know why this came. I wasn't pulling from that deck, but it fell on the floor from this deck just now. So I said, I got to take it. And that's really, again, the spiritual awakening is push them right into a dark night of the soul, which is like, okay, like I said, I thought that you were this person. I thought that you cared about me. I thought, look at my life. Like I'm living a lie. I'm not happy. What am I doing? Why am I holding back? Why did I do this? So that's what's going on in their life. They just realized that they were blindsided. And what they're doing is it's like they're realizing they look at you and they see abundance. But I also feel like for a long time, this person, like, in order to stay in this place of complacement where not making a decision, because that's really what they did. They used time and space to hope that you were going to come back to them. It's just they never gave in to that karmic. See, the karmic thought that they were going to take your place. That's what they thought. And that's not what happened. Your person went back to going and running around with all those other people, which completely pissed off the karmic because karmic's like, what the fuck is that? So yeah, your person was in like lost a lot of time and space because they were like overindulgent with themselves. And I feel like they drank, they smoked, they partied, they fooled around with people, they hooked up with people. It's like because they don't want to be with their karmic. But what they're realizing is that a lot of time. So it's very likely that you're going to hear from this person, I would say within the next month and a half. Yeah, because they don't want this to be broken. They want to actually fix it. They actually want to fix the connection. So that's where they are right now. Let's see where you are. Now, remember, it's collective reading. So some of you guys are like, fuck that, no way. And others of you will be like, well, it's like, we'll take this person back. I feel like a lot of you will take this person back because this person's not really the type of person to come back and apologize. And if they come back and they apologize, well, then you really know that they mean it. And if the karmic obviously is out of their life, but we will pull to just see. I feel it's still this person. I feel terrible for hurting you. I feel like that's where they are. And I feel like, no, this is still them. You are the person of my dreams. I feel like you don't know, to be honest with you. I really feel like you don't know. So let's see what you're going to do if it's not going to say. Because sometimes that's really what it is. It's like because you're like, we had such a strong connection and you shit all over it. And now it's like, if I take you back, I almost feel foolish for taking you back because you treated me badly, but I still have feelings. So, which would be why that would come up like that. So we have to say, well, what are you going to do if you don't know how you feel? Because that's really what I think that a lot of you guys don't know. I feel like some of you guys are going to be vulnerable, being open to healing. You're going to be open to healing. Like, I feel like forgiving this person is teaching you some sort of spiritual lesson. Not to mention, I feel like this person has always had commitment issues because they were never allowed to be vulnerable. They were always judged for their behavior. So if this is a real spiritual connection, like what it said that it was, how this reading started, well, then I feel like you would be vulnerable to the connection, even though you don't want to be. You're like, I don't want to, but it's like, well, what the fuck? I lose either way. It's either I'm with you and then I have to feel like you got over somehow on me and that you put someone ahead of me, or I cut my nose off to spite my face and then I'm still gonna miss you. So either way, I'm fucked. That's so, but that's spirit saying, no, it's you need to learn to be vulnerable. Like you may not want to be vulnerable in this situation, but you need to open up yourself to the healing that needs you. That's really what it is. The healing, when you see like, okay, being open to the healing. And like if I have to say your fault uh is true strength. Embrace your authenticity. Like, that you have feelings for this person. So why cut your nose off to spite your face? You have to let the person, like, you have to learn forgiveness. And that does put you in a vulnerable spot. And you don't really want to do that. So we're going to say, well, why is that? Because if this is how it played out, why? Well, we have to look at the inner child cards because this is a spiritual connection. That's how it started. So why would you need to learn vulnerability after someone treated you that way? Well, again, to learn self-love, that's number one. That was right on top, and it just kind of yelled at me, so I took it. Again, self-love, a lot of times we're closed off. You're not allowing yourself to have love. All right, let's pull six. Physical touch. Organized chaos, unworthy, rebellious, vulnerability. One, two, three, four, five. One more. Sing. All right. So I feel like obviously you didn't emotionally get what you needed when you were growing up. It actually made you feel unworthy, and you it was a place where that you grew up that it was very chaotic. It was very chaotic because I feel like some of you grew up in an alcoholic family, some of you guys grew up with just parents that emotionally needed healing and they never got it. So they didn't allow you to be vulnerable. You were not allowed to be vulnerable and you got hurt. And so if anything, you were saw as rebellious and you didn't give yourself the self-love that you needed. So, and this was all about you finding your voice, right? That's what you did. You found your voice, which kind of seemed a little bit rebellious because, listen, this was an inner child wound. And in order to actually integrate the spiritual lesson, you'd actually need to know what the wound was. So, again, here it shows up twice vulnerability. It's like, why is that so important? And it's all about forgiveness. It's all about forgiveness. And I feel like you were seen as bad, even though you weren't really bad. It's that when you grow up with a narcissist parent or a parent that has alcohol or drug addiction or a parent that's just in a horrible relationship and can't manage their life, well, they project a lot onto their children. And I feel like that's what happened. So you were always made to feel unworthy, but that was really how your parent felt about themselves. It's not that they felt that way about you. It's like they loved you, but they didn't know how. So your biggest spiritual lesson was to learn how to love yourself because of the organized chaos, meaning you went to school, you had food on the table, but it was chaotic growing up. It's like you learned to navigate with having a closed heart because you couldn't really trust because of that environment. That's why. And again, physical touch always means emotional. So not emotionally getting what you need. So the spiritual lesson we know was forgiveness. And I feel like vulnerability is when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable again with the person that actually hurt us. And that doesn't mean like you don't set boundaries, okay? What it means is that you don't cut this person off at the knees, that you let them prove themselves. If they come back and they apologize, which they are going to do because they're going through this spiritual awakening, and you really want this connection, that you don't cut your nose off to spite your face just because what happened in the past. That you need to learn forgiveness because otherwise it's gonna backfire on you because you're gonna regret it because you really do have feelings for this person. It's almost like it seems very unfair. Like, why do I have to after you did all that to me? It's like I feel like they needed to go through all of that to really see the karmic in order to get that karmic out of their life and not feel guilty anymore. Feel like that was the only reason why they wanted to do the right thing. It's just they thought that that karmic was somebody else. Like it said, karmic thought that they were burning down the bathtub, only burning the shoes in the bathtub, but they burnt down the entire house. Because again, they kept pushing it and manipulating, getting more angry and angry because your person was really holding back. And I feel like they were not really ever with that karmic. I feel like maybe every once in a while they would hook up, but being that the karmic was like, I still have my space here and we're best friends. So eventually you're going to come around. Like eventually we're going to be back together again. Eventually you'll take me back because, best friends. I'm here. I have your back. No, your person's going through this awakening, dark night of the soul, being like, who the fuck is this person? This person doesn't have my best interest at hand at all. And Spirit says the lesson, and we're going to end it off on this, is balance. Balance. It's not all or nothing. Remember, we're not just rolling out the red carpet to this person. Oh, that's okay, whatever you did. No, no, no. Spirit says, but we're not cutting them off at the knees either. We're not doing that. Spirit says, you got to find your balance. I find balance between each sphere of my life. I am the master of my daily life. I make time to nourish the spiritual and the physical. I bring love to my world by fulfilling the needs of my body and my soul. So Spirit's saying, you find balance. Because understand, balance is not all or nothing, and you find balance within your own life so that you can then give this person the balance. Meaning, if you sit there and you just let this person come into your life and be like, okay, I'm going to give you a second chance, and you don't have friends, and you don't have any hobbies, and you hate your job, and that you give this person the king chair without earning it, well, that we see that that's obviously not going to be good because they didn't earn it with you to begin with. So, in order for you to get what you want, which is to have this person come back into your life, but you want them to be different. You want them to pour into you. You want them to put you first. You want them to to treat you the way that they treated that karmic. They treated that karmic with respect because they thought that that karmic was somebody important in their life. Where really what you have to do is give yourself the self-love, make it known that you know that you are the most important person in your own life and that you'd find that through balance, that there's time for work, time for friends, time for hobbies, time for your spiritual health, time for your physical health. Again, and then there's a piece of pie for them. That's it, a little space for them. And during that space, they have time to prove it to you. And if they can't handle that, the relationship with boundaries, then you don't let them back in. But this person's going to be more than willing to do whatever you tell them to do. I feel like if anything, they're going to pour a lot into you to make up for the time because they feel horrible about what happened. They realize what they did. But Spirit's saying you got to find balance in the situation. That's how you can protect yourself. You can be vulnerable, but you're strong. And that's what Spirit's saying. That's what I need you to be. You need to be, again, the expression of unconditional love. And when we know that, that represents, when we look at all the spiritual gods, right? What the spiritual figures like Jesus, he was strong, but he was also vulnerable. When we look at Buddha, when we look at Gandhi, when we look at, they're strong, but they're also very vulnerable. And that's what you're being called to do. I'm going to leave that there for you. I missed you guys. I'll talk to you soon.